right, let's go ahead and call this Pompano Beach City Commission meeting of February 27th, 2024 to order. If I could ask everyone to please silence their cell phones or put them on vibrate during the meeting so we don't get disrupted with an errant phone call, that would be ideal. I'm checking one as we speak. Very good. If we can go ahead and call the roll, Kervin.
Commissioner Fournier?
Here.
Commissioner Moss?
Here.
Commissioner Perkins?
Here.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Here.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Here.
Mayor Harden?
Here, thank you. Our invocation this evening will be given by the Apostle John Mohorn, Word of Living God Ministries. So if we could all please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Good evening. Oh, Pastor, before you get started, if you could just keep in your prayers Doc Ferraro. He passed away this Monday. Dr. Richard Ferraro, a longtime member of the Golf Advisory Board, longtime dentist in Pompano Beach. We just recently recognized him, but he just passed away. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do a moment of silence. For God, you know all things, and as we lift the family up in prayer, pray now that you will comfort them, that you will be that shepherd in the 23rd Psalm and give them peace. And now, Father, as you have charged us to pray for those that has authority, and as I lift this staff up, starting with the mayor, the commission, the city manager, the attorney, I lift them all up with spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom only come from you, O God, that will cause this city to be great. And Lord, we will look upon the poor as we look upon the rich. We will look upon the middle class as we look upon the rich. And God, that you will touch them in such a mighty way. And Lord, we need you. We need you more than ever now. And God, it's because of you we can have divine peace. It's because of you we can have divine joy. And so, God, as David told us to look to the hill for which cometh our help. And Lord, I pray unity upon those that has authority. And not only unity, but I pray peace, that they will be on one accord, that they will be in one mind, to help the city and every community that's in the city, God, that they will be blessed by you, O God. For you told us righteousness exalt a nation, but sin is a reproach. So as Solomon said, in all our ways, acknowledge you and you should direct our paths. So now, God, because this board acknowledged you before meetings, I pray now, Psalms 46, for you are their refuge and their strength, and you are present help in time of trouble. So, God, give them all the wisdom and knowledge that they need, God. And it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, can I get a motion approving the regular City Commission meeting minutes of February 13th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. On our agenda this evening, are there any changes, Mr. Harrison?
No, sir.
Very good. Can I get a motion approving the agenda as printed?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. On our consent agenda this evening, item number 6 will be pulled for individual discussion. So all other items on the consent agenda are eligible for discussion during audience to be heard. So item number 6 will be pulled for individual discussion. And that takes us up to a special presentation, Career Source of Broward County Public Announcement. Career Source of Broward County will make a public announcement regarding their grants and services that are available to the public. Let's see. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Commissioners, dignitaries in the room. My name is Carlisle Anderson, and I am the Community Outreach Liaison at Career Source Broward. I am also a resident of Pompano, the great city of Pompano Beach. So today I'm thrilled to present an overview of the invaluable services that Career Source Broward provides to the community. And we are thrilled to be able to serve as a bridge between employers and job seekers. So who we are the Workforce Development Agency for Broward County. And for 50 years, we have been that bridge between employers and job seekers so that this way we can foster economic growth for our individuals as well as prosperity for our businesses. So for our core services, we provide employment assistance. Assistance, we're able to do personalized job searches, which also resume writing and interviewing skills, preparing the workforce for their next right jobs. We're able to provide career counseling to those folks who need to know what pathway they should be taking in order to be upskilled and to be able to be competitive in this workforce market. Anyone that is interested in further education, skill upgrade, we're able to provide training for them. We can provide a scholarship of up to $12,000 that they'll be able to take care of tuition, books, clothing, and it's at all of no cost to them. They'll be able to walk away debt-free from any one of our in-demand occupational training that we provide. We're able to provide, in addition to a classroom training or a virtual classroom setting, we can do work-based training where we can help with paid internship, where Career Source Broward will pay the employee the salary up to $17 an hour, so that this way the employer will get a great candidate at no cost. We'll be able to take on an insurance, and that person, should anything go wrong in a job, then we'll be able to cover the cost for them. We also work with the registered apprenticeship programs, so that this way we're able to offset the training costs for those folks in employment in the apprenticeship training program. We have specialized programs, like our youth program. So youth who are out of school, 17 to 23 years plus, before they get to their 24th birthday, we're able to provide employment assistance as well as training for them. In addition to the employment and training, every year we do what we have the Summer Youth Employment Program, where for 8 weeks we're able to put students 16 to 18 years in employment, and we pay $14 an hour for those students. By the way, the city of Pompano participate in our Summer Youth Program, so thank you so much for providing that. We also provide assistance to the employers in the community. So we can take the legwork for recruitment events for them. We can help them with the employment piece, so those who are challenged with time or money, we can serve that HR function in order to find the right candidate, to be able to source them for the skills, the criteria that the employers need, and then be able to pass them on. We can do recruitment events at our location so that employers can come into us, and then we bring the masses in so that this way they can get the jobs that they want. We're also able to offset training costs for employers. So we can do on-the-job training where we're offsetting up to 75% of the cost for their new hires over a 3-month period of time. And we're also able to do paid internship for them as well. From time to time, we get specific grants outside of our regular services, grants such as our non-custodial parent employment grant, where folks who don't have the custody of their children, they may be having some problems paying that child support. We recently got a grant for $900,000 where we can help them with employment, we can help them with training, as well as be able to pay for certain costs they may be incurring, whether it's going to be dental, whether it's going to be vision, and be able to help with auto repair in some instances. We also have a healthcare grant for those who are looking to make an entryway into the healthcare field. We're working with Memorial, we're working with Baptist, so that this way, we're Broward Health, I should say, so this way we can get people into the healthcare sector, and folks will be able to now move on with their careers. We also have a single mothers grant for single mothers with a child 5 years and under in the household. We're able to provide the same assistance as I mentioned before, employment and training, but this way we'll be able to help them in a case management setting where we're able to help them to move to sustainable employment. The city of Pompano has been a great partner with us. So my call for action today to you is to continue being that partner. Help us get the word out, because we're seeing where a lot of people who need help, they don't know about the services we provide. We are just one agency and we're building partnerships in the community, but we can still rely on the help that you can provide. So if you're able to, within your network, to be able to talk to people about who should be here in our services or direct us to those people, then we'll be able to get the information out. And I believe the residents of this great city would be so much appreciative once they know that there are services around the corner that they can take advantage of to make their families much better off, and they have sustainable employment in order to help.
Yeah.
So that's my ask for tonight, and those are the services that we provide. And anyone who are interested in further information can go to our website, careersourcebroward.com, and they'll be able to peruse and see the wonderful services and programs that we have to offer. And if there are events that the city is putting on, please have us there so we can be a resource to the community, so we can showcase the services and programs so folks can take advantage of that. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. That is very informative. I didn't know all the Career Source does. I mean, that's great, and it's a tremendous resource for our residents and, of course, throughout the county. Appreciate you being here and all that you do for our city and everyone you serve. Commissioner, have any questions or
Yes,
comments?
I did.
Commissioner Perkins?
Can you, those that are listening, can you give your phone number?
Phone number for our main office is 954-202-3830.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it, and thank you for all the good work.
Yes.
Carry on. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have a proclamation. This is a fun one, a great one, as a matter of fact. 2024 Broward County Teacher of the Year recognition. If I can, I'll be over here at the podium. If I can get Dr. Claudia Singarat and the science teacher for Pompano Beach High School, who was declared Teacher of the Year in Broward County. Yes. If I can get her to meet me over here, along with folks from Pompano Beach High School. I think we got a few folks here to support her, as well as our Educational Advisory Committee members. I know that they're always involved with our schools as well. So I'll be right there. Thank you. Fantastic. This is great. Everybody. Fantastic, yes. Yeah, this thing falls off. There we go. So yes, as I mentioned before, we are truly honored here in the city of Pompano Beach. Each year, there's a competition, and people are evaluated, and they look for the best in class, so to speak. I'll use that, best in class. And here in Pompano Beach, we are lucky to have at our own Pompano Beach High School a teacher who was selected as the Teacher of the Year for Broward County. So that's not Pompano Beach. This is Teacher of the Year for Broward County. And I've got a proclamation I'd like to read and present it. Whereas, and before I go any further, I'd like to just recognize a few people. We have the principal of Pompano Beach High School, Miss Lisa Spencer, is here with us. Also, we've got a bunch of teachers and folks here from Pompano Beach High School. Yes, thank you. As I mentioned, we also have a bunch of folks from our Educational Advisory Committee. They are very, yes. They're very active with all of our schools in Pompano Beach and work with the commission on behalf of the city and residents to try and keep the education in Pompano Beach the best it can possibly be and liaise with our school board also. So whereas Dr. Claudia Singenrat is a science teacher at Pompano Beach High School and has won the 2024 Broward County Teacher of the Year Award. And whereas Claudia Singenrat has devoted her life to improving the quality of education for our children. And whereas Dr. Singenrat is the first Teacher of the Year for the Broward County Public Schools from Pompano Beach High School. And whereas it is only appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of the work of Claudia Singenrat. Now, therefore, I, Rex Harden, Mayor of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby join the citizens of Pompano Beach in bestowing our best wishes and gratitude to Dr. Singenrat for her vital role in the development of our children. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused this great seal of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, to be affixed this 27th day of February 2024. Rex Harden, Mayor. Dr. Singenrat, I can't thank you enough for what you do for our children, for our community, and just congratulations on being awarded Teacher of the Year. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And as a teacher, I'm sure that you have no problem speaking in front of crowds. So say a few words. Tell us a little bit about what you do day in and day out. Go ahead. Thank you.
Well, thank you first of all. I think this is wonderful. I also want to thank the school. Look at the support. I mean, what other school would give you that much support? And that is what leads us to all be successful. I cannot see one person here that is not worthy of probably the same award that I just got, so I'm very happy about that. We'll take good care of our kids. We try to make sure that they are academically challenged, but also emotionally and socially in good places, and wherever they need to, we will help them. We commit ourselves to our kids, and it is not just words. We definitely do it, starting with our administration, Ms. Spencer, our guidance counselor, all our administrators and our teachers. We really do care about our kids, and I think it shows. Yeah. Thank you.
And also, I do want to say congratulations, but I also want to recognize all of the teachers that serve our children throughout Broward County school system. Every one of them is a star. It just so happens that we have got truly a star with us today.
Seven.
And yes, she has actually taught my children as
No,
well.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
All right. Yes, we are indeed fortunate with the caliber of teachers that we have in Pompano Beach throughout the system. All right, that takes us up to audience to be heard. Kervin, do we have anyone signed up tonight for audience to be heard?
Yes, we do, Mayor. We have 6 speakers.
6 speakers, very good. Let's proceed.
Okay. First speaker, Kurt Patrick, followed by Andrew Mole, followed by Marquise Smith, and followed by Shaquilla Shagar.
Please come forward to the microphone. Just give your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Kirk Patrick, 2312 South Cypress Bend, Pompano Beach. Mayor Hardin, Vice Mayor McGee, City Manager Harrison, fellow commissioners, Barry Moss, our Commissioner of Cypress Bend. My wife bought a condo in 2007 there. In 17 years, we've had 3 management companies, different boards, different issues. In 2007, we had an assessment for new roofs. We just received a letter from the association for an assessment to be paid in full for our 1 and 1.5 bedroom bath condo, an exorbitant amount of $34,076 to be paid in full on September 1st, 2024 of this year. 19 buildings, 380 units in our community. We are on fixed incomes, my wife and I. I'm on Social Security. I had to get a school crossing guard job to pay our bills. We get by. No warning, no transparency, nothing at all. Our last meeting 2 weeks ago in front of the board, there were absolutely no questions answered. There were just figures thrown at us. Just figures. Not one board member said a word. We tried to ask them questions. They wouldn't say a word except to pass this legislation that they're trying to put on us. There was the engineering firm that's supposedly going to take over this project. No microphone, broken English. We couldn't understand a word they were saying. They haven't done anything except a visual inspection of the whole property. They want $15 million for this whole thing. It's not fair. To meet mandate, a 10-year inspection, the board totally ignored fiduciary duty, ignoring interests of a large portion of our community by throwing on them a project that financially beyond the affordable level for most of us. It seems like they are trying to force us out. My wife is almost 80 years old and she's got cancer. We live not for the future, we live for the day. To present an assessment of this amount, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. We will meet code compliance with the people. We're not trying to get out of an assessment, but they've got to be reasonable. They're giving us 6 months to come up with $34,000. A lot of us don't have that. A lot of us can't afford that. Oh, they did a nice thing. They said, oh, we feel for you. We'll give you an 18-year chance to pay it off because that will give you a chance, not the rates. But hello, that's $22,000 interest on top of $34,000. That's $56,000. My last thing, Mayor, is I ask you to please understand where we're going through. Give us some time. Let us have a chance to go over this, not all these assessments all at once. It's not fair, and a lot of us can't meet these requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. I appreciate it. Thank you. I believe Commissioner Moss wants to address this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I've spoken to this gentleman a couple of times, and he's certainly not the only person in this boat. I mean, in the 1,963 units in Cypress Bend, there are many of the 5 associations that are doing the same thing. And it is unfair, but specifically for those of you who are listening and maybe don't understand the process, what's caused all this to happen is that after the Surfside condominium collapsed, the Florida State Legislature had a knee-jerk reaction, and that was to mandate that all associations fully fund their reserves within a specified period of time. That specified period of time was a very short period of time, which means that associations had to come up with, in some instances, many millions of dollars within a matter of 2 or 3 years. This may be a contributing factor to the Cypress Bend situation. On top of that, there's the insurance crisis. I know not only just condominium owners, homeowners too, our insurance costs have doubled. I know in my association it has, and I'll bet you a cookie that in the Vice Mayor's Association it has as well. That's a second part of this process. And the third part is just trying to get this concrete restoration work done. Many of the condominium buildings in Pompano Beach, and most of them in Palmyra and in Cypress Bend, are about 40 years old. And the state, again, because of the collapse of Surfside, has mandated that concrete restoration be done on the 40th anniversary of the building, and then 10 years after that. Again, because many of the associations hadn't fully funded, they're finding themselves, as this gentleman's association has, needing to have a special assessment that's just not bearable by the community. So our two senators, Senator Pizzo and Senator Polsky, who represent Pompano Beach, are in Tallahassee working on this very day. Senator Polsky, Senator Pizzo, interestingly enough, is the only member of the Florida State Legislature who lives in a condominium. That's both in the House and in the Senate. He's the only one. So he is spearheading action, trying to get the legislature to pass some bills that will help mitigate this enormous financial burden that is being placed upon many of our senior citizens. And at one point in time, when we were in Tallahassee, the vice mayor commented, and I think she's right, this is a potential to collapse the condominium market in our state if something isn't done. The bad news is that the city can do nothing about it. We have no jurisdiction over boards of directors, and our charter prohibits us from spending public money on private interest or private property. So even though we feel for you, there's not anything that this city or this commission can do. I myself bought an apartment for my mother a number of years ago, and I'm facing a $14,000 special assessment, which is certainly not as bad as this gentleman's, but this is just the situation that we're left with. So I would encourage all of you who live in condominiums, who are facing these kinds of really difficult financial consequences, to please get on the horn, start writing letters, not to your senators, because they're on our side, but to the chairman of the various committees that have jurisdiction over the legislation that's going through the Florida State Legislature. It's a very, very bad situation. You know, my heart goes out to all of you. I wish there's something the city could do, but our hands are tied. Mr. Mayor, do you have something to add to that?
Yes, I did. I've heard about this issue also, spoken to folks, and I don't know how many people are here from Palm or the Cypress Bend area, but I too feel for you. But as Commissioner Moss just alluded to, our hands are tied. The state passed legislation, and we are merely, at the local level, we are the enforcement action, so to speak. The state mandated that you have to have inspections. The state has mandated certain timelines, and they've left it up to the city of Pompano Beach to enforce with our local enforcement powers. And what that means is that this is all handled under our building department. The building department says that, okay, at such and such a date, you will have to get your inspection. And once that inspection is done, then the building department then reviews the engineering report. We don't do the report. Licensed, registered engineers who does the report, investigates all the issues, and once that report comes to the city, then there has to be a plan to take corrective action. And then it's up to the city to ensure that the corrective action is taken. And state law says that it needs to be done within 180 days unless there are reasonable reasons for not having it completed. and that's all handled under our building department. I've spoken with Brian Donovan, I've spoken with Greg Harrison, and also our building department, and we are not here to put anybody out of their condominiums. We're not here to say that if you don't finish in 180 days, we're going to kick you all out. We are here to make sure that places are safe, that steps are being taken to comply with state law and to do the things that are mandated by state law. We are part of the process trying to change state law currently. We have folks working on this at our city level with our legislative aides and things up in Tallahassee, but we still have to enforce the law. Our building department, our chief building official, actually Mike Rata, is here tonight. I think he's in the back over there. Hold your hand up, Mike. There he is. And he is actually the person who, when it comes down to it, 180 days down the road, if the repairs aren't completed, he is the gentleman who then looks at the progress and makes a determination, well, is the building going to fall down? Are people in imminent danger? And if not, okay, the progress has not been completed, well, okay, you've been making progress and it's not in imminent danger of falling apart, so we'll give you more time. So the City of Pompano Beach is here to work with associations as best we can. I encourage you to please get with Mr. Rata. He's happy to help out. He can explain it further. But as Commissioner Moss stated, we are not here to hurt anyone. We are sympathetic to everything that people are going through. It is a very, very bad situation currently, but our hands are tied to a certain extent. We have to enforce state law, but there is flexibility, and I know people are concerned. They've been hearing about, well, if you don't get it done, you're going to get fined by code enforcement or by the building department, which is true. But if you're making progress, and and there's degrees. I mean, these engineering reports, sometimes it says, well, there's cracks in the stucco that need to be fixed because it will allow water intrusion. Well, that's not the same as saying that, okay, you have got rebar that is rusted through so that the condominium is about to fall apart. So there's degrees of things, and I don't make those kind of determinations. That's up to our building department. But I'm just here to tell you that, you know, this is an important topic. There's only so much the city can do, but we are here to work with you, and our building department is here to work with you. So please reach out. I mean, Mike Rata, he's here tonight, and he's here every day in the building department. He runs that department. He knows what he's doing. He's very sympathetic. He works with people every single day. So please take that back to your boards, to your residents, whether it's the Cypress Bend or whether it's one of the condominiums in District 3 or District 1, District, you know, we've got District 2, we've got District 4. All over the city, we have got condominiums that are facing the same situation. Thank you for coming forward, though. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I just wanted to second Commissioner Moss's statement. Especially if you have an organized group, reach out to our representatives and ask them how you can help, like timing-wise, who to contact, who to encourage to help them get their votes. Because it is, you know, when you look at the state of Florida, and it's hard to think about it when you live here, but there's counties out there, there's representatives that don't have a single condo in their district. So they don't face the same reality as like Commissioner Moss also pointed out, our senator who has a condo down in Miami. He knows what we feel. I had the assessments come this year too. I've had the insurance rates go up. I know we have to do our roof now too. And there's also the issues of not having enough engineers and construction and concrete crews available to cover all of the condos that are down here. So I know they're looking at trying to revise legislation, trying to give more time and work out things. So definitely I'd call them and then ask them what you can bring back to your board, because they probably will have paperwork and things that you can bring back to your board to try and get your board to have other options and change things. And yeah, we're here to help. We feel it, and just the more you can do that, I'd even say reach up to DC too, our senators, our representatives, let them know what's going on down here so they can represent us that way too.
Very good. Thank you for that, and I appreciate you coming forward, and good luck, and anything we can do to help, we will. Next speaker.
Andrew Mall.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Andrew Mall. I'm a neighbor of the gentleman that just spoke. I don't want to beat a dead horse, so I'll make it short and to the point. I'm a home condo owner there as well. I was saddened by the tragedy, like everybody else, that took, in Miami a few years ago. However, I think I'm more saddened by what's currently taking place right now in our country, in this local community, and the feeling that some people have taken advantage of homeowners or condo owners of an imminent collapse. It's going to happen again. It's like saying maybe there's going to be a sinkhole here tonight, and who knows. But I think, we just got to maybe meet the gentleman and put a stay to this matter, because this is going too fast. We're getting railroaded. There's no underground parking where we live. We're not on sand. We're not near salt water. There's no leaking pools. So, I was in the military. I saw the Roman Colosseum. It's 2,000 years old. Has it collapsed? No. This building was built in 1974. It's like yesterday. But everyone thinks it's 2,000 years old. It's solid concrete. It's not going anywhere. So why am I mean, come on. Let's be real. This is all about money. I can put this in comparison to you all. You're all politicians. I think, what's her name? Nikki Haley. Her campaign, her finance, I think this is costing us more than Nikki Haley's campaign. But there's 300 people. That's just one person. There's more cracks in her campaign than our condo. So I just think we need to slow down. This is a tragedy, and I'm speaking for probably a lot of other people that are going to get railroaded down here. So I don't know, maybe people just want the middle class or the lower middle class out of Pompano Beach. I don't know, we're next to Harrah's Casino. Maybe Harrah's Casino sees this as potential land, I don't know. But I think we need to slow this down before it gets more tragic. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Please, folks. Next speaker, Kervin.
Marquis Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marquis Smith. I live at 1320 Northwest 24th Avenue. I was coming to bring to your attention that on my end of the street, it's a big sinkhole starting to develop. They said that it was coming out, but they only packed the hole and they didn't asphalt it down. And I just wanted to bring that to attention before it becomes a bigger issue, as well as our neighborhood was approved for speed bumps. And they put the speed bumps in last year, but our street was missed. And I was just trying to see who do I need to speak with, or could you direct me?
I believe that Mr. Harrison, our city manager, is making notes right now with your address. And can you go to the side over there when you finish here and just give him your telephone number also so he can follow up directly with you?
Okay.
That'd be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we'll have Public Works check it out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next speaker.
Speaker, Sheila Stagger.
Very good.
Apologize in advance if I get a little nervous.
It's okay. Just name and address for the record, please.
Okay, a little nervous. My name is Sheila Sager at 2181 Northwest 10th Court in Pompano Beach, Florida. Within a span of 2 weeks, I encountered 2 alarming instances of potentially deadly weapons on my property. The second incident involved the discovery of a loading gun on December 1st, which we suspect was deliberately placed there as an act of intimidation. Furthermore, the loader gun was discovered merely 50 feet away from a middle school bus stop. On November 16th, individuals arrived at my home claiming their earbuds were signaling from my property. I informed them that I did not possess their belongings, offering them to search my yard anyways, or to contact the local authorities. As I spoke to them, I noticed movement on the side of my house, and I promptly retreated indoors for safety. As I stepped inside my house, one of my daughters urgently called me while I was on the phone, telling me frantically that they had not left, and now they had noticed a 4th person waving a machete. My daughter was deeply distressed, prompting her boyfriend to rush to our house to ensure my safety. At this point, at 8:45, Deputy Simpson showed up to the house to inquire about the stolen earbuds. I cooperated fully, informing her I did not possess the items and even granted her permission to check my yard as well. However, lacking firsthand knowledge of the fourth person and the machete, I refrained from making any potential inaccurate statements to the police at that time. When my daughters returned home from work at 10 p.m., at that time, they were saying, Mom, 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 you gotta see this, you gotta see this. So at that time is when I watched the Ring video, and that's when my jaw dropped, because I had no clue up until that point. Then I reached out to the police, and at 10:30, Ms. Simpson returned to my home. She was the original responding officer, and now she came back at 10:30 with 2 other officers to show her the video. Once I showed her the video, she made a statement. It was an umbrella, and they are from New Jersey. It's kind of weird. Given my volunteer work with the police department, I was mindful, avoiding any perception of rudeness towards law enforcement. Upon reviewing the footage, it's evident that I maintain a composure of demeanor interaction despite recounting the unsettling events of being alone at night. I refrained from raising my voice or using inappropriate language when the officer urged me to bring it down. It was evident that had I permitted this officer to stay on my property, the situation would have likely escalated further. On December 6th, I visited the Pompano Police Department to file a police report. When I entered the police department, I was immediately met with hostility. The individual at the front desk instructed me to leave and to call the police from home. I told him I could not do that because the situation involved the disruptive behavior of a police officer. I will.
Yeah. Finish up.
I'll try to hurry. I'm just
Okay.
nervous. I'll try to hurry on. And then he asked me for an incident number. I had no clue what an incident number is. And he even got more, an officer was coming to the lobby. He helped me. So I was getting a dead end. It was at this juncture, I initiated my own investigation, trying to find the origins of the loaded gun. I went to Ms. Simpson's body camera footage, only to find out that she had turned her camera off several times by interacting with these individuals. And then I had filed a incident and internal complaint against Ms. Simpson for turning off her camera, which she was fined of no wrongdoings. However, according to the body-worn camera manual, her camera should have remained operational throughout the whole entire. Just when you think things could not get worse, they just went terribly worse.
Ms. Sater, I appreciate it, but I'm going to have to cut you off here. But I appreciate you coming forward. But I know that you sent an email concerning this to me. I forwarded it over to the city manager. I know he's getting BSO involved to find out what's going on with it. I believe you've also been in contact with Commissioner Moss on this issue. We're looking into it. Would that be accurate, Mr. Harrison? Yes, sir. Well,
Sir.
But can I just
That's
tell you,
exactly right.
the only movement I got was reaching out to the mayor. I had been in contact through BSO because I work with BSO and had received zero help through the people.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, but we're on it.
You guys helped me. Yes, you guys helped me.
Well, we're trying to get to the bottom of it, and we will persist. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Mayor?
it. Yes, Commissioner Perkins.
I received her email. I read all of it, and I can relate to what she experienced, because I also experienced the same thing about 2 years ago, where one of the BSO officers just cursed me out and told me off. And his camera was off. And then when I came back to ask for his name, he turned the camera back on. So, cameras are very important, and they're there for a reason. And in my opinion, they should never be turned off. Never. Because it showed the reaction of me, but not the reaction of him. So he knew what he was doing when he turned the camera off. So, that's something we need to look at, with BSO, to always keep your cameras on, because that's what they're for. To stay on as long as you're on duty. But yes, that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Moss.
What is standard operating procedure? I mean, are cameras supposed to be kept on all the time, or no?
Mr. Harrison's looking into it. He's getting with BSO.
All right. I would like an answer to that question.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Very valid question. Very good, thank you. Next speaker?
Next speaker, Deborah Wright, followed by Vicente Thrower.
Very good.
Good evening, folks. Deborah White, 550 Oaks Lane, Pompano Beach, 33069. I've been going to various meetings. Barry has told us about stuff, so I've been hearing things about Club Link and expansion and buildings and everything like that. So how does that come about, and who here is like on board with it to have Club Link start building buildings in the Palm Air section of Pompano Beach, when, from what I understand, there are city covenants that limit the number of houses allowed there?
There is a proposed development that has come forward, but it's going through the Development Services Department, but I understand, I believe it's been stalled now because there's a lawsuit been filed. I'm not really sure. Mr. Berman is shaking his head that yes, there was a lawsuit filed.
There's litigation in progress right now, and that deals with the old agreements, the dash line, and some of the other, whether they're, so we're going to see what the court has to say, and we'll see what's permissible and what isn't.
Okay.
But it's going to take a little while, so nothing is going in right away.
Today, right.
Okay, so if there is a land covenant, how is it that it can be broken?
But there are a lot of details to this, and it depends upon, and it's going through the legal process right now. If you really want,
Just as an overall overview.
No.
If there's a covenant on a piece of property, how does it
If you
get
really like to
broken?
sit down and talk about that, we can get Development Services, get you with Development Services to really have a firm understanding on all of that. I'm not sure if it's has it been determined legally, Mr. Berman, where we're at? I mean, it is what it is. So she can sit down with Development Services and get briefed on the dash line, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
it's an old agreement, and the question is, what did it cover? That's what the court has to look at. Was it?
Very good. Yeah. So if you'd like to, Mr. Harrison can make an appointment so you can get with Development Services to actually have a fuller understanding of that dash line.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is it something that the commissioners vote on?
It's in existence right now. It's the dash line.
Right, that's the land covenant, the dash line represents it on the map, but is it something that the commissioners vote on to break the covenant?
If there's an ordinance that states such and such, then yeah, it has to come back to the commission for a change. I'm not sure what the legal structure is that keeps it the way it is, to be honest with you. And I know that the original development, the Club Link development, I believe, was coming forward. They were requesting flex units, which that didn't need to come before the city commission. But now, like Mr. Berman just said, it's been stalled in legal proceedings, but I'm happy to get you in touch with Development Services to have a full understanding of the Palm Air covenants or dash line land use.
Okay, the other question I was asked to ask, do you realize how upset you have made your constituents with Atlantic Avenue being a never-ending traffic mess? Your constituents think traffic is abhorrent, and you have plans to increase the population and decrease the road availability. Also, what is the plan for evacuation from the coast if you do this? And with all the concrete, where does the water go in major storms? And what is the plan for waste management if you add all these people?
I think you're referring to Atlantic Boulevard, aren't you?
It might be.
Okay, yeah, you said Atlantic.
A long street that you get caught in traffic forever.
Okay, yeah, no, we've got construction going on out there. Of course, when you've got construction on any roadway, it ties things up, and we all go through it currently, so.
Why is it being reduced to one lane?
It's all part of a plan.
It's a long-term plan.
Long-term plan, yes, ma'am.
So how do we do an evacuation from the coast or during storms?
That's been
if we keep
looked at
increasing?
and accommodated.
And what about the waste management?
Waste
Well,
management.
if we have all these people moving in and everybody's got garbage that they're putting out every day, where's it going?
It's being accommodated.
I'm sorry.
It's being accommodated. We
Where?
got sufficient capacity with wastewater, with water, sewer, all that stuff.
But where's the garbage going to go? Because as I understand,
Currently, it
Collier
goes to the
City-
landfill.
Sorry?
Currently, it goes to the landfill.
Which landfill?
Because
Because I understand Collier City was capped.
it goes to the landfill out in Coconut Creek, or it's in unincorporated Broward County, I believe. But that's up to Waste Management where the coastal takes it to Waste Management.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know I finished, but is
Okay.
that taken into account when all these buildings are approved, like the infrastructure and capability?
Like I said, ma'am, we evaluate our infrastructure every time somebody submits a building permit. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr.
Sure.
Mayor?
I've got Commissioner Fournier, then Commissioner Moss.
Thank you for bringing up Atlantic Boulevard. I share your concerns, as everyone knows, about Atlantic Boulevard and what's going on there. Not just the construction that's going on, because that's obviously disruptive right now, but long-term, the plan to reduce the lanes going westbound and narrow the lanes is, as everyone knows, to me, unwise. We are a growing city, and we are adding thousands of apartments in this corridor and thousands of new cars. And I firmly believe that this plan was thought of so long ago that it was set in motion and so many people wanted it to happen that when the funding finally came together for this plan with the GEO bond and Northwest CRA funds, that there was no stopping this project, even though it didn't actually make sense for our city and for the growth that happened when COVID happened. So most businesses, when COVID happened, they looked at what was going on, their strategic plan, and they asked if they needed to make changes, and many businesses did. They reacted. I don't feel like the city of Pompano Beach had the same reaction when COVID happened, and South Florida became a huge, 1,000 people a day were moving to Florida. When the influx of people started happening due to COVID, we didn't pivot and say, hey, what are we doing reducing this major artery right now? That, coupled with the Bright Line coming to that same intersection, with the train crossings going down half a dozen times, up to a dozen times an hour, it is just an absolute shame that this body and the city did not take a renewed look at this in 2020 and look at our growth trajectory and look at what was coming to this area and make smart decisions. I encourage them to think about it, and I continue to talk about it whenever we can, because we're going to have to fix it. It's not going to work for our city. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got Commissioner Moss, and then I've got Vice Mayor McGee.
I would like to address one of the things that the young lady said about the commission's participation in this development in Palmyra. A lot of people don't.
Commissioner Moss, can I please ask folks to take their conversations out into the lobby area so we can conduct the meeting? Thank you.
As I've explained to my Saturday morning meetings, but not, of course, everyone attends them. What's happening is that the parcel of land that Club Link wishes to develop currently has a zoning designation that allows residential development, which means there's no zoning change. And because there is no zoning change, that will not come before this commission for a vote of the commission. It will go before the Planning and Zoning Board because they are requesting flex units. So it's hard to get people to understand that this body doesn't have a say in it. We can't vote, yes, we want this to happen, or no, we don't want this to happen. It is private property that is zoned for residential, and the owner of the land is trying to develop it. Now, there's litigation involved. It has to go before a judge, and a judge will make a determination. I, quite frankly, am glad that there's a lawsuit involved because this will clear up the subject, hopefully, once and for all. The agreement that she referred to as the dash line, that was written quite a long time ago. The question is it still relevant or not? And so that's got to be decided by a court of competent jurisdiction. So for those of you who live in the Palmyra area, please understand that we up here do not have a vote about, yes, we want this to happen, no, we don't want it to happen. It's private property that's zoned for residential, and unless the court says that the old land use amendment still applies, they can move forward with it. We have no say in it. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. I just wanted to rebut a bit of what my fellow commissioner just stated, as I take insult to the idea that we did not pivot or make smart decisions or think or speak with multiple experts in all fields for hours and hours and hours coming to this. So first off, back when I was first shown this, there were multiple lanes that they were considering to remove. And I know I personally spent multiple hour-long meetings with the traffic engineers to state exactly that we are not Las Olas, we are an artery to 95, that this is an intersection that still needs to be used for traffic to flow. By the end of it, the reduction is more of a relocation. And when you're driving west on Atlantic Boulevard from the beach, it is 2 lanes all the way out here. Right now, you get a 3rd lane at Cypress. Now we have moved the 3rd lane addition to further out by the racetrack on 6th. That is the major change that has happened to the roadways. Other than that, they're shifting, there's some landscaping going in. These changes, thank goodness, our predecessors 30 years ago had the foresight to start gathering the land to do this. That is the fact that we're doing this development, that we're bringing this in, is what's going to bring in jobs to actually let people afford the apartments that are going to be there, and is bringing the train station to our city. Without this type of density and job opportunity, we wouldn't be on the map at all. And these are the things that happen. And I can also tell you, as I've worked in development, I've worked as a real estate broker, if you don't control development, it controls you. If you think for 1 minute that if those houses and other properties had been there in 2020, 2021, 2022, without the city having a vision of what we wanted, that developers wouldn't have picked them up and built whatever they wanted to build there anyways, with no foresight, with no thought of what we are trying to create as the heart of our city, a beautiful district for the Northwest to bring all of our districts together, that's what they would have done. They would have come in, picked up everything in a fire sale, and built whatever they wanted to build. So thank goodness we had the foresight and the guidance of experts in the industry to bring us to Roca Point negotiations with these renderings that are beautiful, that are going to bring economic opportunity to the city of Pompano, where people who were born and raised here like I was can come back from college, come back from grad school, find work, and keep the city going and enjoy the town that they grew up in as well. Things change, and it's hard. When the beach first did their renovation, no one wanted the garage. There were huge outpourings saying no one's ever gonna park there.
Hey,
It's not lies, I was there. I've been here since I was born in 1983. And,
all right.
and,
Sir, I'm going to ask you to be quiet. This is the first warning. Thank you.
and no one thought that anyone would park in that garage. Now people want another garage. When the first restaurants came to us to want to build on our new sidewalk that we did, they wanted to bring in 7-Elevens and wing shops, and we said we had a vision, we knew what we wanted, and that's how we got some of the best restaurants in Broward County. So I'm extraordinarily proud of what we've done and the direction we're going, and I take a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of thought into every decision I've made on all of this. So I know you and I have different opinions on this, but I would appreciate us not being all lumped in as some people who don't care when we all care immensely. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate it. Commissioner Fournier.
A few quick words in reaction. So when I look at the downtown and Roca Point and all these conversations we're having, I don't disagree with you on the downtown vision and any of that. But when I look at that, I see office space added. I see thousands and thousands of additional people and retail and apartments and cars. I see City Hall moved there. And we can't get there because there's only 2 lanes on Atlantic Boulevard. Your relocation spin, no offense, is it's a unique new one to me. But we are taking a lane out of Atlantic Boulevard. It is 3 lanes right now, and it will be 2 lanes from Cypress Road to Northwest 6th. And that is the corridor that goes through the railroad tracks. You have a major artery with Cypress coming together Atlantic there, then through the railroad tracks, which are a massive disruption. There's just not the volume of space for cars to sit there with 2 lanes, and onto 95. These cars need to get to 95 and Dixie and 95. Major arteries coming together. So, yeah, I will never agree with you on that part of the plan. If we needed pedestrian walkability, we should have put pedestrian bridges. We should have done something that actually was forward-looking and maybe would have been safe. But Atlantic Boulevard, even with these 2 lanes out here, is still not safe to cross, and I don't think it will be. So it is gridlock, and we're going to have to fix it. But someday, maybe you'll agree with me on that, maybe not, but we're going to have to fix what we've created there at some point, because it is unsustainable given our growth and the number of cars on the road here. We have created traffic impacts all over this city. Cypress Road has stacking at McNabb, at Southwest 3rd. Atlantic Boulevard is backed up to 11th sometimes, and it is not a construction. That is not what's going on. So we have some impacts of construction. Certainly on Dixie, the impacts are more construction. But this is an inadequate plan for what is going on in our city. So I don't want to talk about the downtown. That's a way bigger issue, and I don't disagree with some of the development there and needing to do something. But we are not preparing our infrastructure and our roads for that growth to support that downtown.
I just like to point out that Commissioner Fournier is speaking as a city commissioner. We did have engineers who looked at this and gave their professional opinions. I just want to make that clear for the record.
Mayor?
I've got Commissioner Perkins, then I'll come back to Vice Mayor.
Yes, well, Commissioner Fournier, I've never seen you so emotional. But yes, I was listening to the Vice Mayor, and the way she talked about the intersection, it sounds so pretty. But it's congested. It's not getting any better, and I was just, maybe the city manager can bring back the engineering folks and see what they can do to kind of calm the traffic a little bit more. It's just almost 15 minutes for me to get from my house to here, where it used to take almost 5. So it's not getting better, and if we can bring the engineers back in to maybe look at the timing of the traffic lights, and the train is going back and forward and it's just backed up, especially between, I would say, 4 and 5:30.
Very good. Vice Mayor.
I was in the traffic yesterday, but I can see we are currently under construction. We are currently in season. We are currently waiting on the FEC line to do their renovations that need to be done. The lights are controlled by FDOT. There's a lot of moving parts in this, and I know none of us will rest until when it's completed. If there's stuff that needs to be tweaked, we tweak it. But my point on this whole thing is in order to create something like we are creating, in order to attract the level of investment like Roca Point is bringing to us, the city, just like on the beach, had to do the buy-in. If we didn't do the pier and move around the parking and do the whole walk area and the Great Lawn, back when that was the contentious point, back when we took a lane away in front of Harbor Village shops, and that was contentious. If we didn't do those things then, we wouldn't be having any of the beach activity we'd have now. The beach used to just be parking lot. I know prior to when I was born, and there was a restaurant over there at one point, but it was a parking lot. And we wouldn't be having our Jazz Fest. We wouldn't be having our drone shows. We wouldn't be having all of the amazing stuff that we were able to attract to this city without it. And let's say we didn't do any of these things. COVID still would have happened. And then the fire sale would have happened. And then developers would have put anything. And now we're also dealing with Live Local. They could have just put, towers all over everything that they want to do. And so these are smart steps that we are taking. And yes, construction is horrible. Anyone who's ever renovated their house, renovated their kitchen, it's a mess. It's chaotic. But when it's done, it's beautiful, and you're happy you did it, and you've invested into something that has a return and will make the city amazing. And yes, it might sound beautiful because I believe it will be beautiful. I believe this space is going to be amazing. I believe we'll get our train stations. I agree with Commissioner Fournier that we should have some sort of flybridge to cross Dixie, because I think that would be more safe to get to the station. There's a lot of things coming along the way. And yes, I think it'll be great. And just the idea that the rest of us don't care, the rest of us just rubber stamped things without multiple meetings and thought, and it's insulting. So anyways, yes, I do believe it'll be beautiful. I know there's naysayers, and there always will be. I say stick with it and be amazed with us, and it'll be amazing.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Moss.
Hi, thanks. I want to echo what the Vice Mayor has said. I mean, change, you've heard me say this more times than I can count. The only constant in this world is change, and this city is changing from a sleepy suburban town into a major urban area. And it's just going to get, the more people you add, the more traffic there will be. I sit here and listen to people bemoan traffic. I lived for 36 years right smack dab in the middle of the District of Columbia. You think you got traffic here? Let me tell you something. You don't. You don't. This is just a suburb that's becoming urban, and it's happened everywhere throughout the United States. I would say to Commissioner Fournier, I mean, you are very passionate about this. But you are like a dog with a bone. You don't give up. You have tried on many occasions to get this commission to agree with you. We haven't. And by sitting there and calling people names or saying, would you ask these people to leave?
Yeah, it's.
Have the police officer have them removed, please.
Take the conversation. Hey,
Get out.
Mr. Skaversky? Okay, Mr. Skaversky, that's one.
Don't give them one. One's enough. Ask the police officers to escort them out.
Now, anybody who has conversations, take them out in the lobby. Thank you. Excuse me. Anybody who has conversations, please take them out in the lobby now. Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Moss.
So she's tried on many occasions to convince us to see things her way, but by sitting here and insulting people, that's not the way to make friends and influence people. At some point in time, you just have to accept the fact that you've been outvoted. End of story. And by insulting people and demeaning, calling into question their values, that's not going to get you anywhere. So my suggestion to you is hold firm on your beliefs for sure, but try to be a little bit more civil, because the only thing you're doing is backing yourself into a corner and making several of us all the less willing to cooperate and listen to you. Thanks.
Commissioner, who are you talking about?
Commissioner Pernis?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Perkins? Go ahead. Okay. Anybody else? Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
Well, the more the
And
merrier,
before you
right?
start, Commissioner, can I ask the people in the corner of the room over there to please be quiet? Mr. Thrower, I'm asking you to be quiet. That is one for you. That's two for you, Mr. Thrower. Mr. Thrower, I'm going to ask you to step outside. I'm asking you to step outside.
Mayor, I don't know whether you're paying attention, but he was not the one making the noise back there.
Commissioner Perkins, I'm sorry, what was that?
Pardon me?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you because people are talking.
Yeah, I'm looking at the audience, and it was not Vicente talking and making the noise. I watch the audience a lot. I know who's making it.
Thank you.
It wasn't him.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I look, I see, I pay attention.
Now, thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Segerson-Eaton. I believe that's number two. That's three. I'm asking you to leave, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Segerson-Eaton?
Thank you, Mayor. Not just to overstate the obvious, but the project is almost completed. And I think we should just give it a chance. And I think that the other thing why it sticks in Commissioner Fournier's craw so badly is because she campaigned on it. She said she could stop it. This plan was voted on prior to her election. It was studied. We had many public meetings. You know, if you have a freeway going down the middle of your city, it's not an attractive place. It's not where people want to be or people want to come. And since living here since 1989, there has always been traffic at Atlantic and Dixie. And because of the trains. And I think going forward, we're not going to stop contract. What do we stop? Would it put it back the way it was? Which is ridiculous. That's not going to happen, no matter how many times you try to throw it and call us a bunch of, well, frankly, idiots. So I don't appreciate the insults, but I think it's almost completed, and let's see how it goes when it's done. Thank you, because I'll never vote to change it. So you're not going to be able to fill your campaign promise to stop it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Further discussion? Seeing none, good. Let's go ahead and finish up audience to be heard.
Well, the last speaker was Vicente Toro.
Oh, and I asked Mr. Thoreau to leave. Very good. That takes us up to our consent agenda. Can I get a motion approving these item 1 through 5?
So moved?
Moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 6 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving a general release of all claims and authorizing council to execute any additional documents relating to the settlement of the litigation claim by Lisa Castellon, providing an effective date.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. This item was pulled by Commissioner Fournier.
Pulled it for a resident, Mike Skaversky.
Very good. Please come forward, sir. Just name and address for the record.
All right, I'll keep this going in a different topic, though. 1630 Southwest Fifth Avenue in Pompano Beach. All right. I know the reply is going to be, well, this is not unusual for a lawsuit. I read this. I've actually looked into this lady. She is super duper duper bright. According to what the information states, she can no longer speak on this case. And I also believe that she can no longer be negative or say anything about the city ever again. Is that correct? On social media or anything like that?
So, go ahead, Mr.
Okay, well, I think that
Go ahead, Mr.
if that is
Skaversky.
true, I think that's ridiculous and that needs to be thrown out. Now, most people don't know about this case. Well, you would. Every commissioner up here would know about this case except Commissioner Perkins, because she doesn't get told a darn thing. And Allison Fournier was brand new. So the rest of you would know about this case. Who was her boss?
I'm sorry, Mr. Skaversky. Go ahead.
You don't know who her boss was?
Mr. Skaversky, you have the floor.
Her boss was Horatio Danovich, and you all know that up here. The lawsuit. She was hired as an engineering project manager 2, level 2. At the same time, another male was hired who was similar to her in talent, only she actually had more talent. Who do you think was getting paid more? The male was offered more money and paid more money. When I say the same time, within a month. That's part of the lawsuit. The other part, unequal pay, obviously, sex discrimination, retaliation for complaining about sex discrimination, and if anybody out there is familiar with the Family Medical Leave Act, this is what really gets to me. Her mother was sick. She asked to be with her mother while she was ailing. She was refused. Her mother passed away. This is sick. I have looked this woman up. Now, because she was fired from her job, essentially, she had a lawsuit. She's going to win this. This is easy. Obviously, this is why it's being passed. I mean, you don't have a leg to stand on. But this is absolutely sick, how an innocent, smart lady who I've looked heavily into, now when she goes to get a job in the future, she's going to have people that she used to work for lie about her, say she was this, she was that, when in all reality, she should have been the GO bond manager, not Horatio.
Very good.
It is goddamn disgusting what went on with her. I've looked really heavily into it, and you ought to all be ashamed for those of you that don't know it. Then you ask for the woman vote? Look into the case, but you know about the case. It's sick.
Thank you, Mr. Skaversky. Commissioner Fournier?
Thank you. So I guess I do just want to say that I take this case seriously. Anything that someone's claiming, especially a woman being paid potentially less. I've worked in these type of environments. I was an engineer and investment banker in very male-dominated fields. And the respect and the value of a woman is doing the same job as a man should be the same. And I'm sure we believe that in Pompano Beach. My concern here is Have we put proper guardrails in place and looked at the organization to ensure this is just one case and not something more systemic to the organization?
Mr. Harrison? That gets down to, it gets down to employee matters, and
I just want to make sure that we've looked into this.
I can't believe we've let this go as far as it has here on the dais. This is a settlement of a lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got, Commissioner Fournier, if you've got questions concerning things of that matter, you can go to the city manager and inquire there. I mean,
I've already told
yesterday,
told Commissioner Fournier that yes,
very good.
We go through this in cycles throughout every year to make sure that we have compatible
very good
compensation for both sexes.
And that's what I want to hear.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yes, I did.
That's it. That's very good. Commissioner Fournier?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes, that takes us up to our regular agenda. Item 7 is a second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a service contract between the City of Pompano Beach and Debris Tech LLC to provide emergency automated data management system services, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Mr. Ketchum.
Good evening. Russ Ketchum, Director of Environmental Services. This is a second reading to this particular ordinance, and there have been no changes since the first reading.
Very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins? Yes. Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. Item number 8 is a second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a second amendment to the license agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and ProServe Concepts LLC, providing services as the head tennis professional for the Pompano Beach Tennis Center, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Mr. Boudreau.
Good evening, Mark Boudreau, Recreation Director. There are no changes from the first reading.
Very good. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Questions? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins? Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. Item number 9 is a second reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a candidate financial reporting system sub-license agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Mr. Alfred.
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is the second reading of an ordinance, and there has been no changes since the first reading. That concludes my comments.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins? Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. That takes us up to item 10 as a first reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a first amendment to the lease agreement between the City of Pompano Beach and Colt, South Florida, owner LP, for the fire logistics facility, exercising a one-year lease extension, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good evening, Mr. Hudson, Fire Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. This is the first reading. Fire Department is requesting the City Commission's approval to exercise the first extension notice for the Pompano Business Park lease located at 1651 Southwest 5th Court, Suite 1641. The extended term of this lease is for 12 months, commencing March 1st, 2024 through February 28th, 2025. Pompano Beach Fire Logistics and the City Clerk's Office have been leasing this space consisting of approximately 7,500 square feet since March 1st, 2016. This facility is being utilized to provide logistical support to 8 firehouses, training division, ocean rescue, fire prevention bureau, as well as the emergency operations center. Additionally, space is provided to the city clerk's office for the purpose of meeting their document depository requirements. Concludes my comments. I'm here for any questions.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Seeger-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. Item number 11 is the first reading of an ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, approving and authorizing the proper city officials to execute a second amendment to the Agreement for Government Banking Services between the City of Pompano Beach and J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A., providing for severability, providing an effective date.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Alison Furtado, Finance Director. This is the first reading of ordinance to extend the contract agreement for an additional 5 years with J.P. Morgan Chase for the city banking services. This is the second amendment to the original agreement. We have conducted an extensive analysis of our banking services with our partnership consulting firm, PFM, and we were able to negotiate favorable terms with our existing provider, J.P. Morgan Chase. We are therefore seeking your approval to amend the contract to continue our banking relation with J.P. Morgan Chase.
Very good. Thank you for that. This is a public hearing. Is there any input from the public on this item? Seeing none, public input closed. Commission discussion, questions, concerns? Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Seeger-Eaton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Yes.
Mayor Harden?
Yes. Item 12 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Sand and Spurs Advisory Board of the City of Pompano Beach to fill the unexpired term of Kim Boros. Said term to expire on April 26, 2026, providing an effective date.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Are there
Mayor.
any? Commissioner Fournier.
So last time we ended at an impasse on this one, I think. We voted on it and we ended at 3-3 with Amy and Ann. I do think that we probably have similar goals here, that Ann would be a great addition to this board. So is it possible for us to today put her in an alternate slot if we move Amy up as a commission traditionally does?
No.
Is there?
No, Commissioner. The item before us is to appoint one person to the unexpired term of Kim Boros.
And then next time, we'll come back with an appointment for a new alternate?
Sure. We can always do that. If there's an opening.
I'm going to nominate Amy Vera Hobb, the incumbent or the alternate.
Amy Vero Hobb has been nominated. Any further nominations for this
Mayor.
item? Commissioner Seeger-Eaton.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Ann Ward. I just want to point out that Ann has been riding at Sand and Spurs since 1998 and has kept a horse there since 2012. She's highly qualified. She's the only certified and insured riding instructor there. She attends most, if not all, of the meetings as just an observer, and I think she'd be a great addition to Sand and Spurs. I'd like to nominate Ann Ward.
Very good. So now we have Amy Vero Hobb, alternate one, and Ann Ward, who is just applying. Any further nominations for this item? Hearing none, nominations closed. When your name is called, indicate your choice, either Ann Vero Hobb or Ann Ward. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Amy Vera Hobb.
Commissioner Moss?
Ann Ward.
Commissioner Perkins?
Amy, alternate one.
Commissioner Seeger-Eaton?
Ann Ward.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Ann Ward?
Mayor Harden?
Amy Vero Hobb. Very good. That moves us up to item number 13 is a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Nuisance Abatement Board of the City of Pompano Beach for a term of 3 years, said term to expire February 28, 2027, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Moved and second for discussion.
Mr. Mayor, may I say something about this before we take a vote?
Sure, certainly.
I've looked at, I'm perplexed because today I received an email from the gentleman who is the chairman of this, this committee asking me to vote for two particular people, and made the comment that Andy Sheriffant has attended most of the meetings. When you look at the backup, you'll see that out of 26 meetings, Mr. Sheriffant has only attended 11. And even though he's from my district, I think we need people who are a little bit more actively involved than someone who's missed more than half of the meetings. So I would just like the other commissioners to be aware of that. Also, in having a conversation with our city clerk, he told me that in the next several months, he's going to be trying to put these applications online to make it a lot easier for people, which is great. Thank you, Kervin. But moving forward, and I'm not suggesting that we do anything about this tonight, I think that we really do need to look at attendance, the people who attend these meetings or don't attend these meetings. Also look at the number of other boards that people are on. I mean, if you're on 5 boards or 4 boards and other people are being left off, I think that's something that in the future, not tonight, we have to consider. But I would encourage you to look at the attendance records on the Nuisance Abatement Board. Andy Sheriffant has missed 11 meetings out of 26. Linda Hunter missed 19 out of 26. Louis Riva, 18 out of 26, and David Wheeler has not attended any meetings. Just want you to keep that in mind when you make a decision.
Very good. Are there any nominations on this item?
Mayor?
Commissioner Perkins?
So, Commissioner, did you reach out and try to call some of these people to see if they still wanted to serve or they had a problem serving? Or
That would be the city.
Yes, that is, we did reach out to them, and they've expressed interest to continue to serve.
continuing?
Yes, the incumbents.
Okay.
Yes, all of those listed on the listing there have expressed interest to continue to serve.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Everybody on the list wants to serve.
Yes.
Very good. Are there any nominations on this item?
Mayor?
Commissioner Moss?
I'd like to nominate Linda Hunter.
Linda Hunter. Very good. Are there any other nominations for this item? Hearing none, nominations closed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. Takes us up to item number 14 is a resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Nuisance Abatement Board of the City of Pompano Beach for a term of 3 years, said term to expire February 28th, 2027, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and second for discussion. Are there any nominations for this item?
Mayor,
I've got Commissioner Fournier, and then I think I've got Vice Mayor over here. Go ahead, Commissioner Fournier.
I'd like to nominate Louis Riva.
Louis Riva has been nominated. Very good. Vice Mayor?
I'd like to nominate Tanya Manfredi. Tanya Manfredi.
Tanya Manfredi. Very good. Okay, we've got Tanya Manfredi. Are there any further nominations for this item? Hearing none, nominations closed. When your name is called, indicate your preference, either Louis Riva, alternate 1, or Tanya Manfredi. Let's go ahead and call roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Louis Riva.
Commissioner Moss?
Louis Riva.
Commissioner Perkins?
Lewis?
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Tanya Manfredi.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Tanya Manfredi.
Mayor Harden.
Louis Riva. Very good. That takes us up to item number 15 as a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Nuisance Abatement Board of the City of Pompano Beach as alternate 1 for a term of 3 years, said term to expire February 28th, 2027, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded for discussion. Are there any nominations for this item?
Yes, Mayor.
I've got Vice Mayor, and then I've got Commissioner Perkins.
I'd like to nominate Tanya Manfredi.
Tanya Manfredi. Commissioner Perkins.
I'd like to nominate Velma Flowers.
Velma Flowers. Are there any further nominations for this item? Hearing none, nominations closed. So when your name is called, indicate your preference, either Tanya Manfredi or Velma Flowers. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier?
Tanya Manfredi.
Commissioner Moss?
Tanya Manfredi.
Commissioner Perkins?
Velma Flowers.
Commissioner Seegerson-Eaton?
Tanya Manfredi.
Vice Mayor McGee?
Tanya Manfredi.
Mayor Harden.
Tanya Manfredi. That takes us up to item number 16 as a resolution.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pompano Beach, Florida, appointing blank to the Nuisance Abatement Board of the City of Pompano Beach as alternate 2 for a term of 3 years, said term to expire February 28, 2027, providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second for discussion. Are there any nominations for this item?
Mayor?
I'll see, I've got Commissioner Fournier, then I think I heard Vice Mayor, and then I've got Commissioner Moss. So Commissioner Fournier.
Kara Driscoll.
Kara Driscoll. All right, now we move on to Vice Mayor.
Michael Solly.
Michael Solly. Okay, Michael Solly. And then I've got Commissioner Moss.
Yeah, I looked at the resumes of all of them, and 4 of them have very good qualifications. Clara Driscoll is a property restoration expert, so I think that that's good enough for me.
Okay, are there any further nominations for this item? Hearing none, nominations closed. So when your name is called, indicate your preference, either Michael Solly or Kara Driscoll. Let's go ahead and call the roll.
Commissioner Fournier,
Kara Driscoll.
Commissioner Moss,
Kara Driscoll.
Commissioner Perkins,
Michael Soley.
Commissioner Sigerson Eaton,
Carol Driscoll.
Vice Mayor McGee,
Michael Solly.
Mayor Harden.
Kara Driscoll. Right, that concludes our regular agenda. We have no additional audience to be heard. Our next scheduled meetings, we got March 12th, 2024 at 1 p.m.
Mayor, excuse me.
Commissioner Perkins?
Mr. Thurl's in the lobby. I think he wanted to speak, but he was outside when they called him to come to the podium.
I'm sorry, what was that, Commissioner?
Mr. Thrower was supposed to be speaking.
Correct.
But-
Yeah, he was signed up, but he was asked to leave.
Yes, but he's out there in the lobby to speak.
That's okay.
Mhm.
He was asked to leave.
Okay,
you.
but let
Thank
me
you,
just say this. There've been several times I've noticed when you ask people to leave this meeting, I am very observant when I hear noise, and this is your second time getting it wrong as to who was talking loud and who was making noise or making a disturbance. It was not Vicente. He walked forward at the time the person was yelling, so it looked like it was him, but I was looking. And you ask him to leave for no reason. Now, that's the second time you've done that. So I think you need to be more aware or pay more attention to where it's coming from. I know you have a lot trying to coordinate everything up here on the dais. I get that. I understand that. But I'm not in your shoes, so I can look and see and pay attention more so than you. So I just want you to just be aware that he was not the one. But I think there was a group out there in the lobby that he wanted to speak for regarding the people at the BSO jail. I think they were the parents of 2 or 3 people that died inside the jail. And I think he was speaking on their behalf, and they're in the lobby. So that's it. Case closed.
Very good. Thank you,
Mr.
Commissioner.
Mayor?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Moss?
Yeah, if I may say, I very seldom criticize you, but I think you're too nice a guy. I think too much goes on in this room. There's too much disrespect on the part of some people. I think you bend over backwards to be nice to them and allow them. If I were sitting in your seat, I would have thrown a lot of them out a lot earlier. And if we don't work hard to enforce the rules, we're only going to have a greater level of disrespect on the part of people who come in here, who sit down and jump up and down and holler. I think that's behavior that's unacceptable, and I would encourage you in the future to be a little bit more stern with them and ask them to leave. We weren't elected to sit here and be insulted by people who very often don't know what they're talking about. So I would encourage you moving forward to be even more muscular in asking them to leave instead of being the nice guy that I know you are. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. All right, so moving forward, next scheduled meeting is March 12th, 2024 at 1 p.m., a regular City Commission meeting, followed by March 26th, 2024 at 6 p.m., regular City Commission meeting. And that takes us up to reports. Mr. Harrison, what have you got? Good news.
Yes, sir. Just a couple of things. I wanted to get on the record that Broward Sheriff's Office, our police department, is preparing for spring break. So put everybody at risk that they are actively preparing for spring break as this is being moved up north. So the other thing is, we have an award, but it's not a water or sewer award.
Spread the wealth, right?
This goes to Chief Hudson and Chief Whitten. On January 12th, the Commission on Accreditation of Ambulance Services re-accredited our ambulance service for another 3 years. And that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Very
Let's give 'em-
good.
let's give 'em a hand.
Congratulations, yes.
All right, and that concludes my report, sir.
Very good report. Thank you for that. Takes us up to City Attorney, Mr. Berman.
Thank you, Mayor. No report at this time. Thank you.
No report. Okay. Mr. Alfred, City Clerk.
No report, Mayor.
Very good. No report. City Commission, Commissioner Fournier.
One quick item, we have a community meeting tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. at the American Legion. I hope to see everyone out there. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Moss.
Yeah, a couple of kudos. First to Building Department and Mr. Rada, who is, again, being very helpful with some of my constituents when they have problems. So hats off to you and thank you. Also, I want to take a moment to congratulate the Cultural Affairs Department. Some of you may have noticed that the piano competition is back on, the children's piano competition. That got started years ago, I think by Herb Skolnick, and for many years it was held at the Skolnick Center. The Skolnick Arts Foundation ran out of money, and they had to stop sponsoring it. But I'm really delighted that the city has picked up the ball, and our Cultural Affairs Department is going to be having that piano competition for children across the street at the Cultural Arts Center. Also, I said it during the CRA meeting, but I want to say it again, that the Jazz Festival, Jazz Concert in Palmyra was an enormous success. About 300 people showed up. The weather couldn't have been better. It was very well planned, very well executed, very well received. So again, congratulations to Ty and to Earl for the wonderful job that you're doing to bringing culture to Palmyra. And that'll do it. Thank you.
Here, here. Great report. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Perkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two questions. One pertaining to the new senior activity center. I know there was a problem with the sewer. There was a problem with the air condition. I don't think the building is quite 2 years old. And I want to know if there's an update on these two issues. Have they been resolved as far as the sewer and the air condition, Mr. City Manager?
As far as I know, they have been resolved. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are we making any moves to try to open up the new senior center for meetings and events?
That would depend on this body. We did not have a budget for that this year. So in your presentation to this body for the next budget year, you should ask them for funding to staff it for all of the extra hours that it will take to do what you're talking about.
Okay. I think before the facility was built, it should have been put in place, but as you know, I've been trying to book EPAT Larkins, and I think they have a date available in April. So that tells you how busy that facility is, people utilizing it on a regular basis. So that is something we need to consider. I think I've mentioned that to you before, and I wanted to get an answer as to what we can do to open it up so that we can have meetings and events there because of the need. Thank you, I'm done. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I've told you on several different occasions that we did not have budgets for staffing.
Yes, I heard that.
To have the extra hours that you're referring to.
I heard that.
I'm not sure
So
why
can
you're
you
asking me
can
that
you
here on the
get with
dais
staff
again.
and see if you can put something together as far as a budget to make this happen so that events and meetings can take place at the facility? Can you do that?
I can put together some numbers and ask this body to approve them to increase
Well,
the spending,
thank you. I would like if you could do that.
okay?
Thank you.
Are you saying you want that done immediately, or are you wanting it done in the next budget year?
Immediately,
I see.
because that's not my first time bringing it up to you. I've said that to you before. Thank you. I'm done, Mayor.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Segerson-Eaton.
No report.
Very good. Vice Mayor McGee.
No report?
No report. Well, I got a few items. First off, just want to point out, I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting that Dr. Richard Ferraro has passed away, and I just want to announce that his services on March the 1st, 5:30 to 9 at Crayer is the visitation, and that's up on Copans Road, 5:30 to 9 on March 1st. The funeral will be held on March the 2nd at St. Coleman's Catholic Church at 1 p.m. So that's for Dr. Ferraro. He passed away peacefully at home on Monday. Just want to say hats off to city staff. I mean, all city staff. I know they all contributed for the Black History Month events, and also want to say thank you, big thank you to all the volunteers involved through the Tiger Trail Committee and other folks who helped make Black History Month truly a fantastic success. I think it was. We had a bunch of different things take place this past month during the month of February, and I think it really worked out well. So I just want to say thank you to everyone involved. Also, I want to say thanks to the cultural. I'm not sure who actually all gets thanked, but for the Mayor's Chess Challenge over at the Cultural Center on the 17th, we had the Mayor's Chess Challenge. We had a bunch of people show up there just to play chess. Some of these people, because the Mayor's Chess Challenge is something that was started by Mayor Ryan in Sunrise, and it was designed to just get as many cities as possible to participate. And some of these kids, and adults actually also, they go from city to city to city and play chess at these various cities. So we had people here from all over the county. It was really, really neat. We had kids as small as, I think, like 6 years old. And I think they all beat me, so it's, which is okay. I can admit that. But yeah, it was a great event. Look forward to it next year. Want to say thank you to the folks out at Sanders Park Elementary School. I got a letter from Tillin Smith, who is the class president at Sanders Park, and also Takea Abraham, who is the class vice president. They wrote me. I went out there for a kids vote thing on their when they were voting for student government, president and vice president and all that kind of stuff. So I was out there, and these kids, they met with me, and then they followed it up back in, I guess it was, let's see, when was it? It was November 30th. They wrote me a letter, and it's from the kids, the president, vice president, and they were asking if we could help somehow with the February 14th Day of Service and Love, which of course that's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and they wanted to beautify Sanders Park Elementary. And they sent this letter, and they referenced their magnet coordinator, Miss Mann, and she was looped in on this, and they sent me this letter asking for help getting their school beautified. So I talked with the city manager about it, and we actually contacted one of our private vendors, Jim Jankowski from Cutting Edge Industries, and put him in touch with them out there, and he just took the ball and ran with it. He took over and worked with the kids, and yeah, they just had a wonderful spruce up out there. It took place on February 14th, and Cutting Edge Industries, they just had a bunch of people out there. They trimmed trees, they planted grass, bushes. They've got flowering plants. They actually planted flowering plants that say SPE for Sanders Park Elementary. So it just goes to show these kids, they reached out, and nothing happens without asking, and that's the message there. So thank you to them for that, and look forward to more partnerships like that. Got a few events coming up I just want to bring before the commission. Let's see. On May the 4th, we've got, that is the Broward League of Cities, the 67th Annual Gala. That's at the Margarita Beach Resort, May 4th. We have participated in that in years gone by. I know Commissioner Seegerson, you're our representative, so do we want to go ahead and get with them again this year, I think? If the commission's okay with that, go ahead and take a table down there. That's like I said, May 4th, and I'm sure Shelley, she'll get out and make sure we're all aware of that. Also, on April the 27th, we have the United Way of Broward County is hosting the annual Mayor's Gala. And this one is at, where is this? This is the Hard Rock. That's right, Hard Rock. And we've always participated in this before also. So with the commission's okay, we'll go ahead and do that again. Also, there's one that we have participated in the past, the Broward Partnership event, but there's a little hitch. I mean, I don't have a problem with participating again, but theirs is also being held on May the 4th, which is the same date as the League of Cities. So that might create a bit of a problem. So let's think on that a bit, and I'll bring that one up next meeting. How's that? After we've thought on that one for a bit, but and that's all I've got. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.